Hello everyone, my name is Linda Dolke and here we go with another craft along for the month of July. So I see we've got a few people waiting already. We've got a couple of Margarets, Margaret Gordon and Margaret Griffith. Griffith, I don't know why I have trouble saying your surname, Margaret. I'm so sorry. I want to say Griffith, but it's not. It's Griffith, which is actually easier to say, so I don't know why. Hello Donna, how are you? So we already have a nice group of people watching, ready to go this afternoon. Please pop on and say hello. This community of crafters, I just love everybody who comes along to these lives that I do so much. Everyone is so giving. They answer questions, they talk to each other, and it's just lovely. So please, if you've never been part of this group before, if you haven't watched one of my lives, say hi in the comments and you'll get a lovely welcome. Hi there, Jane. Nice to see you. Hey, Jolene, all the way from Minnesota. So you don't live too far from Susan Camfield, I think. I think we've had that conversation before. Hey there, Deb. Hi, everyone. Hi, Denise. Nice to see you. You're here today. So we have a really, it's 10 p.m. for you, Janine. That's not too bad, is it? Is that past your bedtime or is that a good time for you? So my craft along videos go live a lot earlier. So normally I go live at 7:30 at night. So over in places like Michigan, Minnesota, all those places, it is usually very late, like middle of the night late. So this craft along at 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon or whatever day I do it is actually a better time for most people. So I find I get a few extra people watching on a Saturday afternoon than I do on one of the evening ones. Hello, Jamie. Hi, Marie. Hey, Sharon. I know I'm missing some people. I'm so sorry if I missed your name, but it's not because I don't love you. It's just because I just can't get to everybody. I'm so sorry. But it's midnight, Linda. Where are you? Where is midnight? Is that over on the East Coast somewhere maybe? You're on the eastern side of the US? Hey, Ronnie from Florida. Okay. All right. We will get started. It's a couple of minutes in. And this month, our Craft Along theme was named by some of the girls in this group. I had a chat a couple of weeks ago to the girls who were watching one of my live videos and said I wanted to do working with acetate, acetate cards, that kind of thing this month. And I wasn't sure what to call the class. And the girls here had some fantastic ideas. And in the end, we decided to go with Window Shoot Wonders. So that's what we're doing. If you hear a little birdie peep, it's my cookie up in the corner in the cage over there. He sometimes likes to call out and make a spectacle of himself. Oh, you're on holidays at the moment, Janine. That's awesome. Oh, 4 a.m. That's a very early start. I admire people who start early like that, but I'm not one of them. I don't tend to be an early starter, especially at this time of year because it's winter here, right? It's cold. So who wants to get out of a nice warm bed when it's freezing cold in the morning? No, thank you. No, thanks. You're in Ontario. Okay. Are you near Niagara Falls or are you further away? I did visit that part of the country one time many years ago. In fact, when I was little, when I was a girl guide, I was about probably 11, 12 years old. I had a pen pal who came from Ontario. So there you go. And that was back in the days before computers and things, and we wrote each other letters. So there you go. I don't know where she is now. I'd love to find out where she ended up. She was from a town called London. So London, Ontario. So there we go. Use acetate for mapping. That's interesting. Hey, Sunny, nice to see you. All right. Shall we switch over to the desk and have a little play? For those of you who have, if you placed an order with me last month, then this week you would have received the supply pack to make the projects. And there's not much in there. You might be thinking, well, what's that? There's not much in there this time. But we're going to go through what there is. And this is actually a very simple project that we're doing today. So some months the degree of difficulty is a little bit higher. Today we're going very simple but special. So we're going to make a card with a bit of a wow factor, but it's a super easy card. Okay. So let me just go through. London is 2 hours west. There you go. There you go. And I've been to Toronto too. In fact, I caught a train all the way over to Quebec. No, actually all the way to Nova Scotia. I've forgotten the name of the town, and it's completely gone out of my mind. But the capital of Nova Scotia, that is where we went by train, and we went through Quebec. So there you go. Hey there, Judy. Hello, friend of Judy, whoever you might be. Say hi. What's your friend's name, Judy? Nice to meet you. All right, let's switch over to the desk and see what we can do. All right, so I hope everyone can see that okay. I'm going to go through the supply packs with you first, because if you have them, then you'll know what's in your packs. If you don't have them, then you can cut them up. And even if what I find a lot of people do is they watch this video through and they comment and so forth, and then they come back later and actually make up the project. That seems to be the most common thing that people do. Some people like to craft along live. If you are crafting along, don't worry, it's not too simple. It's all right. If you're crafting along today, you can do it as we go, or if you prefer, you can come back and watch the replay later, like watch it a second time and make it on the second time, and that way you can still be part of the chat. Sometimes people do like to go live with me, so if you are watching me live and crafting, let me know, and I'm going to try and go slow enough, the right speed that we're not going too slow, not too fast, and we can work on it together. Hey Denise, how are you? All right, so I have a piece of acetate. The acetate that Stampin' Up sells is called window sheets. You get 2 pieces of 12 by 12 window sheet, and it's quite a thick acetate. If you received yours in the supply pack, you'll notice it's fairly thick. Okay, it's a good sturdy weight. And 2 12 by 12 sheets in a pack for $8.75. It's been that price for a really, really long time. It doesn't seem to have been affected by all the price increases. It seems to have stayed right around that price for a super long time. So I've got a piece of acetate 4 inches this way by 8 inches. And yes, I am using inches today because the paper is 12 by 12. So therefore it makes sense to cut the acetate into inches as well. I mean, there's no point in me even giving you the measurements in centimeters. The reason why is because if we cut, let me grab a whole piece of acetate, and I'm going to show you. So I've got a sheet in here. Oh, do I? Actually, you know what? I don't have a sheet in there. That's a pack I must have used the last sheet in that pack already. All right, so here I go. I have another pack. I always make sure I have acetate in my stash because it's the kind of thing that's very useful for lots of different types of cards and lots of different techniques too. So I'm going to show you the other cards that we're doing today, that will be part of the tutorial bundle that goes out with this. Because some of those are going to be different types of cards, and one is like a technique that you can do with the acetate. But if I was to cut this at the 4-inch mark straight down here, okay, then that means this piece is 8, okay, because 4 plus 8 is 12, right? Okay, and we know it's 12 by 12. So if I cut it a 4-inch strip, it's going to leave me with 8-inch pieces. And then if I turn them this way, I can go 4, 4, and 4. So if I cut on the 4-inch mark again, that's going to give me exactly 4 card bases, because the acetate is our card base today. So you'll have 4 card bases out of 1 sheet of window sheet. Okay, so that's why I'm sticking with inches today, because it helps you get the most pieces out of your 12 by 12 paper. Okay, now I am going to bring in my trimmer. And this is where I'm going to give you a word of caution. I'm going to be using the scoring blade, which is the lighter color blade in your trimmer. Okay, if you don't have a trimmer, but you have maybe a simply scored tool, or another scoring tool that you can use, a ruler and a scoring tool of some kind, then you will be able to do this. And we're going to put this in, and we're going to pop it in at the 4-inch mark, so the halfway mark along the long side, and I'm going to score it at that 4-inch mark. And I'm going to go backwards and forwards a bunch of times, okay, because you won't cut through it. Acetate is quite thick, okay, and hopefully maybe I need to put, let me see, if I put a piece of, let me grab a piece of black cardstock so you can see. This is the only problem with acetate for a video like this. Hopefully you can see. Can you see the score line that I've made? Can you see that? I think you can. All right. So it does make a score line at the halfway mark. Now you could just fold this in half, okay, without scoring it, but scoring it will just make it fold more easily, okay? And I see everyone's chatting to each other over in the comments. That's awesome. We love that. Ah, yes, we are doing Imperial today, but normally not. So you won't need to worry though, Jamie. You should have a supply pack. So everyone that ordered with me last month and placed an order over $60 gets a supply pack, and I do that every month. So if you place an order the following month, you get the supply pack to make the card here live. Okay, now I'm putting my corners carefully together and I'm folding this down, and then you will want to bring in your bone folder to make sure you get a nice firm crease, because it's not going to completely fold until you squash it down with your bone folder. All right, so now you can see it's sitting flat, and it actually has a bit of, what would we say? I'm trying to think of the right word. Sturdiness. That's not the word I wanted. You might have a better word than that. Where's my thesaurus? But yeah, it's a sturdy card now because the acetate is thick enough to be a good solid card base. Solid is a good word. How about that? All right, so here are the other pieces that are in your pack. You'll have some little sequins, pretty peacock sequins, aren't they nice? And you'll either have a flower. It's a shimmer flower, so if I bring it up you might be able to see it's shimmery, and it's either Lost Lagoon like this one or Pretty Peacock, which is the darker color. Okay, so you'll have one or the other. I just was running low on one. I was running low on the Pretty Peacock actually, and so I decided to do half in Lost Lagoon and half in Pretty Peacock. And I'm just going to get my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use my pointy end to push out those little pieces that are in the middle of my flower. Kind of, there's 3 little bits there, and that just looks nice with those bits out. Okay, so set that to one side. That's ready to go. Sequins are ready to go. Now you should have a piece of, this is the More Dazzle paper. This is the one that reminds me of the Glow Mesh handbag. Love, love, love this. This stuff is fantastic. And I love the inner sheet. You get 8 sheets, 6 by 6, and 4 of them are this beautiful champagne color and 4 of them are gold. So I'm keeping all the gold ones at the moment because I tend to use the champagne in most of my card making. But for Christmas, I'm thinking the gold is going to come in very, very handy. So I'm keeping the gold for all my Christmas cards, which will be coming up soon. I was so happy last night with the cards we made, girls, on the Friday Night Live. That was fun. And in the end, I did not. I don't know if I'm going to be upsetting people now, but I did not add any bling to that card in the end. The second card where there was a big I don't know, there was a real debate about whether it should have extra bling or not. And some people said, yes, it needs bling. And some people said, no, stop adding bling. Don't do it again. So I hope I haven't upset anybody, but I decided not to add the bling in the end. And we did actually have some of this beautiful More Dazzle paper on that card. So I felt like it had enough bling. So if you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch last night's replay. That was at 7:30 last night, as I go live there every Friday night. Now we have a smaller square that fits inside the More Dazzle. The squares I've been cutting are with the Stylish Shapes dies. Stylish Shapes dies are my absolute favorite dies that we have. I use them all the time. And I just think the Dazzle is so fabulous. Can cards have too much bling? I would say not usually. But this is the card, and I'll show it to you really quickly. This is the card. See, we used the More Dazzle paper behind, and then there was a big debate about whether to add bling, whether we should add a bit of bling to the middle of the O, which I did for a bit, and then I took it off, or whether we needed to add more bling around the card. But that's the card we did with the Just My Type stamp set. So if you want to see how we made that, that was on last night's video. All right, so I've got the smaller white. This is just basic white cardstock, and I have cut this from the square that fits inside this one. So this one is the largest square, and this one is the next size down. Okay, then we've got 3 more squares that are all the same size as the largest square. So these ones are all the same size. Okay, so you can see that. So 3 of these and one of these. And that's it this month. That's all you've got, which was great for me because I didn't have to do as much cutting this time. You'd wink the hearts. You know what? That's really a great idea. And see, here we go. People are talking about it again. Can cards have too much bling? And then other people saying it's lovely as it is. So yeah, it was a real, maybe I have to make a second card and do one way and one the other and put up one of those posts. Which one do you guys like best and see what happens? Maybe I'll do that. Anyway, that was the card that we did last night. All right. So now that we've got this, we're going to work on the front piece. Now, I'm going to have a little confession for you. When I first made the card for this month's Craft Along, I used the Waves of the Ocean stamp set initially, okay? And I used this You're So Totally Awesome, which I really like because it can be good for a masculine card or a girl card. It doesn't, you can use it for anybody. So I really like that, okay? And then I also added I used a blending brush and I added some coloring to the background. Now today I can do that one as well if we have time, and I think we will, but I'm going to do it a little differently. And let me show you the card that we're doing today. I decided to use the Timeless Charm stamp set. Here it is. And this is how your card is going to turn out, okay? So you can see it's an acetate card and it has good stability, and I've used the Timeless Charm set, and I've used Pretty Peacock as my main color. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could also combine Pretty Peacock with Lost Lagoon. Those two colors look really great together, and that's why I used both Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock for my flowers, because they go so well together that they're interchangeable. So I see. Jamie's asking, what's that mean? And I think you're talking about the Wink of Stella. So Wink of Stella, I don't know if I've got my Wink of Stella here on the desk. No, I don't. But Wink of Stella is like a glitter pen, and you can run it over anything at all on your cards. So what they were suggesting was that we use the glitter pen over the hearts and make the hearts glittery, which is actually a really great idea, and I might do that. Yes, it is it's clear. Okay, the one we have, it's a clear. It does come in other colors. We used to have gold, but these days we just have clear, and it just makes whatever you run it over sparkly. And it's really similar to our water pens. Okay, so it's like one of these. I just don't have it handy at the moment, or I'd grab it and show you, but I don't have it here right now. But you can run it over anything, and it's fantastic. Really, really good, fun tool, and it's not expensive. Does anyone remember how much the Wink of Stella pen is? I can't even remember myself, but I'll look it up for you in a bit if anyone needs to know. There you go. Hey, Linda from Idaho. How you doing? Oh, hi, Inika. All right, so I'm going to be stamping on here, okay, and I'm going to be using, like I said, the Timeless Charm set. Now, this is a new set, so it's always fun to use new sets, isn't it? And it's got some of these great kind of watercolor image backgrounds, which I really, really like. And then you've got some other lovely little leaves and other bits and pieces. And this really nice greeting that says, thanks for all you do. And that's the one I wanted to use today. So I'm going to use this watercolory background one. And let's pop it on a block. So you can put it on block C or D. Let me just see here. Put it on D because that's the first one I'm finding. So we'll stick it on D. And then I've got the thanks for all you do. There's a C. And I'm going to grab that out. Thanks for all you do. And we also, I like both these leaves. Now I use these leaves here. Can you see I put them over the edges there? But I'm thinking maybe I'll use this one today. They're both really nice. I like them. So I don't think it really matters. You can kind of play around and pick which one you like. So let me pop that on the block as well. And that should do for now. All right. So the nice thing about these little, and if anyone has any questions, oh, thanks, Denise. Denise just looked up the Wink of Stella. It's $137. There you go. $14. Yeah, there you go. I know I don't have a wink handy. I know it's a bit naughty, isn't it? But I did a class the other day and I used it in my class, and I think it's still over on the class table. So that's very naughty of me. I should have packed it away, but I haven't. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, now it doesn't actually matter which way you do this, but I'm going to stamp it here in the middle, sort of just to one side. And you'll see, even though I've inked it up with the darker color, it's fairly light the way it comes out. And the reason why is because the way these stamps are designed, the little tiny weeny dots of the surface of the rubber actually means you get sort of like a distinctive look. So it's dark and light, and you get both the dark and light coming through, so which is really cool. There we go, just like that. So you can see it's like a darker in the middle where it's overlapped. Looks good though, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to use the same ink again. And you can have it going this way if you wanted to, but I think I'll keep it this way. I'm just going to get over this for a second. And to do that, I need to bring my head. Oh, I'm just going to bring it underneath the camera, but I'll try and keep it above. All right, so there we've got our thanks for all you do. And because this is lighter, because the rubber is spaced a little bit further apart, it means that you can stamp over it with the same color, and your color still, your sentiment still stands out. So that's kind of cool. And then I'm going to use this little one. I haven't used this one very much now. I've inked this up, and because I pressed just a little bit too hard, I've got a bit of ink around the bottom of the edge of the rubber there. Just be careful. Always check before you stamp, because that can really mess up your whole effect. And I'm going to do it again. Check it. And there we go. It's nice, isn't it? Now, I am going to have the flower running down the side here, so I don't want to have this too far this way. I want to go more over here. There we go, just like that. Isn't this cool? Thanks, Inika. Thank you for your forgiveness. Hey, Donna, nice to see you. All right, so this is looking really cool, okay? So I'm actually going to be attaching my little flower onto the side here, and I want to have it so that it doesn't go over any of the greeting. And you could put it on, this whole piece is going to be dimensionaled onto the dazzle paper, so I'm not going to worry about putting dimensionals under this, but you could if you wanted to. So instead, I'm going to grab the glue dot, and I'm going to put the glue dots more on this side, because I want that to stand out. And that's probably enough, just those two, one behind this flower and one on this side of this flower. So I'm going to put that here. Okay, now you might want to have that a little higher. This one, I think I've got it a little bit higher. You could trim off the bottom if you wanted to. I think it's down too low, so I'm just going to move it carefully. Just lift it up carefully with your fingers. And I want to make sure that I'm not going over the top of my sentiment. So that looks good. And I might put another one. So sometimes if I want to put another one on, what I will do is I'll lift it off with the end of my bone folder, or you could use your take your pick tool too. And I'm just going to pop that behind that edge there, which just goes on there. There we go. That looks good. Like that. All right. So you can have, whether you have the dark or the light, they're both going to look really nice. They're both going to look really good. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, girls. That's awesome. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that, because that's how I can keep in touch with you all and keep putting out great content so that you guys are always seeing something new. Last night I was part of a blog hop, sorry, a video hop group, and that was a lot of fun. We did, our technique this month was Emboss Resist, and it went live at 7 o'clock last night. So if anyone hasn't seen that video, that was a lot of fun to do. Now I'm going to position this right here in the center of my dazzle paper. All right, so it looks like this now. Isn't that cool? Very, very simple to do, but I know I know. So exactly right, Nicole. Nicole's just saying how clever the Stampin' Up designs are in images suitable for one layer cards. I mean, how simple. It's 1, 2, 3 stamps. Only 3 stamps. And it looks amazing. All right. So this now is going to go on the front of my card. But I'm not, you could put it on dimensionals again if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use Tombow. You can use seal or another type of adhesive if you prefer it. But I'm actually just going to go with Tombow, not too close to the edge because I don't want it to smush out all over the acetate. But I do want it to stick on well. And I'm going to move this over. My card is going to sit like this with the fold at the top. Okay, so oh, I've got a little bit of bling stuck on there. What we're going to do now is we're going to line this up so it's right there in the middle. And if you're not real sure, what you can do, use your grid paper. Because acetate is see-through, you can line up your pieces with the lines on your grid paper, which makes it super, super easy and to get straight. All right, liking that, looking really, really good. And it's important to get this first one straight because all the others are going to end up lined up with this. So you want to make sure, and because acetate is not porous and it's shiny, it's going to take a little while for the Tombow to dry, but that means also you've got more time to wriggle it into position. Okay, so that's actually an advantage. Okay, so that's just going to take a little while. Okay, while that is drying, let's have fun with our next piece. Now, on here, I did do a couple of things. I haven't quite finished this card off because this is the card that I remade after I lost the original one. You can see I've done a bit of colouring on the inside here, which we might just do in a moment. This is an optional thing where you can use a blending brush. And then this piece here is going to go here. So let me put some acetate on the back of this. I had totally forgotten that I hadn't finished this off in my attempt to remake it. And I'm wondering if I now need to cut another square. I might need to. But anyway, so the whole idea is that you have 4 squares, one on the front, one on the back of that, which hides the adhesive on the back of that, then one on the other side to write on, and one on the back of that to hide the back of that one. So each one is hiding the back of the other, so you can't see the adhesive from the other side. Because let me show you what it looks like. Can you see the adhesive behind that? If you look carefully, it does, Tombow does dry clear, but I can still see that. Okay, and I don't want to. So what I want to do is I want to have one that goes on the back of that. Now you could just leave it white if you wanted to, but we're going to play with ours and do something fun with it. So I've got a blending brush here, and you could use either the Pretty Peacock or the Lost Lagoon. Okay, the Lost Lagoon is the lighter color. So seeing as we haven't used that yet, let's use that now. You can see this is one I've used for the same color previously. And I'm going to get rid of any excess ink here at the start. Then I'm going to start by, and I always suggest this is a good way to go. This is how we used to do, for those of you who remember the good old rubber brayers and foam rollers that we used to have. We don't have those anymore, but they were the same. You start off the paper and then work your way onto the paper. And that way we don't get a big blob of ink on our project. We get it off the paper, not actually on the project itself. So you're going to get the first little bit of intense ink onto your background scrap. Okay, and I'm going to keep going with that, and I'm going to go a little bit further up each time. And don't worry if you see a few brush marks, because as you move around and keep blending, those are going to disappear. Okay. If your ink pad is very new and you have a lot of ink sitting on the surface, this is even more important. Okay, you don't want to end up with ink, big blob of ink all over your project. So if you don't have the Timeless Charm set, what do? Like I said, I originally did this with some blending just like this, and I used the Waves of Inspiration set. I put a wave over one of my projects. I actually put the pelican on one of the projects. So that's a bit cute. But you could use any set you like. Okay, you do not have to have this particular set. You could use any. So what would I be thinking? Any set with a flower would look great, or nature's prints. I mean, these would look really nice if you were to use, you know, some of these leaves over the corners. Wouldn't that look lovely? And you've got a flower there you can use as well, and what looks like a silver fern. So just about any set can be used. Quiet Meadow is another one. You could, you know, add some dots, some splatter. What do we call this? Dottage. You could add, you know, little flower over the corner. You could add some other little flowers up the side. So you can actually have a lot of fun with different sets. You do not have to have the Timeless Charm set. You can have whatever set happens to work for you. All right, so I'm going round about halfway, not quite halfway up my piece here. Okay. And then I'm going to go into the Pretty Peacock, which is the next one. Ah, there you go. I did window cards, just window cards, a couple of months ago, a few months ago, as a separate craft along. Some of you might remember. So there are a couple of, well, there's one main window card, and there's also a window box included in today's projects that those of you who are getting the tutorial bundle will get. I'm just getting some Pretty Peacock at the bottom of this. So now we have Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. It's looking nice, isn't it? Isn't it lovely? All right, so the other, you could, like I said, you could use dots or whatever you happen to have in your set. I'm going to use this little one here that's got some like line drawing leaves. I rather like that one. Let me whack that on a block as well. And I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock. Just check it. And I'm going to have a few of these along here. And it just looks nice. Yeah. So this piece now is going to go on the back of the piece that we have put on. And it's going to cover up our, it's going to cover up the piece, the adhesive that's on the back of the front piece. Okay, and that's how that's going to look. So let me go ahead. I'm going to wax some Tombow on the back of this. Ah, we love happy mail, Nicole, always. All right, now one thing you do need to be careful of is you want this to look, you want this to face the direction you want it to go. So if you wanted to go sideways, that's fine. Just bear in mind you need to take that into account when you're putting it in. I want mine to go at the bottom. So that's the bottom here. So I need to put it in this way. And I'm lining it up exactly with that square that's on top. And that's why it's so important to get the first square lined up, and why I suggest you use grid paper for that. All right, so we're going to push that on so it perfectly lines up with the other. And there it is, it's ready to go. Now I'm just going to fold that down one more time because I noticed it popped up. All right, and so while this is drying, looks good, doesn't it? Then we're going to go ahead and put in our other pieces. Now, the other ones you don't need to color unless you want to. You could go ahead and color all the pieces if you would like. So I've got a piece that's going to go here on the back, and I've realized I'm one piece short because I just used one of my pieces on that other card. So I'm going to have to cut another one, but that's okay. We can do that. I actually need to get a magnet sheet to put my stylish shapes on. All right, so how I suggest you do the two back pieces, I suggest you close your card flat and then put this one on the back first because it lines up with the other two that are already there. And we're going to line it up so it perfectly sits next to those and you can't see the edges. And it's going, that's where it's going to go. And then it's easy to put the other one here on the back of this one. All right, so while I'm waiting for that to dry a little bit, let me clean up a couple of these. I'm just going to use my Stampin' Scrub. We were talking last night about gateway products. What was the first product that you ever purchased from Stampin' Up that kind of led you down this rabbit hole? And guess what? This was mine. The Stampin' Scrub was my very first product. Stampin' Scrub and Mist were what I bought. I went to a Stampin' Up workshop And that's where I was watching the demonstrator and thinking, oh, that looks pretty easy. I could do that. That looks like fun. I could do that. And I just bought the scrub because I already had my eye on the demonstrator kit thinking, I would love that. I think I need to get it. And so that's what I did. I reached out to the girl that did the workshop and asked her for more information. I chased her a few times too because she actually didn't necessarily answer me straight away. I think she was a bit surprised. And then eventually I sent off all my forms about a month later, and the rest is history. That was almost 17 years ago. I'm wondering what special thing I might do for my 17th anniversary for all of you guys to enjoy. I'm still thinking, still deciding what I'm going to do. There'll be something. Don't you worry. But that's in September. So in September, it will be 17 years for me. And Stampin' Up's only been in Australia. They've been in Australia nearly 6 months by the time I joined. I didn't hear about them. I didn't know about them until I went to that workshop. So there we go. There's our Timeless Charm stuff. Now, let me quickly bring in my... Marie said, Denise, because she goes by Denise. If anyone sees Marie Denise, it's actually Denise. You said a pink and silver acetate Christmas card was what inspired your Stampin' Up journey. Wow. That's pretty cool. Do you still like pink and silver cards? What date in September? The 7th, Jody. The 7th of September. All right, so I'm going to bring in, this is the largest of the stylish shaped dies in the square ones. And I'm just going to bring this in and I'm going to cut myself another. So I'm going to pop that there. Let me see. I've got some white paper handy. I'm going to grab some more. All right. Oh, you're thinking about Stampiversaries. Anybody else know their Stampiversary when they first, I'll say, let's call it what it is, when they first fell down the rabbit hole. I know, the new mini catalogue is exciting, isn't it? So some of you, if you're demonstrators, you will have already seen the new mini. For those of you who are not demonstrators, that's okay. You guys will get to look at it soon. It's not too far away. However, demonstrators aren't able to order from it until the 2nd of August. So we get to pre-order from the 2nd of August, and then everybody else, all the customers, get to pre-order it from the 6th of September. So that's still a little way off, I know, but you'll get to see it before then. You've been playing with Stampin' Up for over 30 years. I'd never even heard of it before I went to my first workshop. So it was such a nice thing because I loved all the coordination. That was really what got me in the first time. Up until then, because I was a scrapbooker, I had spent so much time in scrapbooking shops trying to find ribbon that matched paper and so forth. There you go. I messed up the corner when I put it through. All right, so the last piece. This one here, I'm not going to put anything on it because I want to be able to write my greeting on there. So let's do that. And then once we've done this card, I'm going to show you all the other cards that that we have on offer in the tutorial bundles this month. I've almost finished. I've recorded all the tutorials. So they're all step-by-step videos that you can follow along with. And I hope to have them sent out by tonight. I'm not far off finished. I've, like I said, done all the recordings, but I'm just not quite finished editing the videos yet. So if you wanted to, you could call that finished, and then this is where you would write your greeting here in the middle. Okay, this bit is literally just to cover up the back. And let me show you what I like to do with the back. Okay, this is just a me thing. Oh, I wonder if I've got it close by. Let Let's see if I do. I may or may not be able to do what I wanted to tell you. So I have a stamp somewhere close by, and it is a stamped by me stamp. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Aha, found it. All right, it's in this little packet here. It says handmade by Linda. Okay, and I actually got this as a gift from Stampin' Up when we went to visit head office back in 2013. So this was it was an incentive trip where we actually got to go over there, and they made us each our own personalized stamp, which I thought was such a cool present. It's one of my favorite presents ever because it was just made for me. So this is hand stamped by me. So I know not everybody else has one of these, but I thought it would be nice to stamp this on the back. All right, so see, isn't that cool? I really, really like it. I use it when I'm stamping and making sure that everybody knows that I'm the one who made the card. If you're looking for other things that you can stamp on the back, we've had some really lovely sets in the past. Now I'm wondering, we have got they're called Angel Policy stamp sets. Okay, and you're thinking, well, what does that mean? Okay, I need to find, which is the Angel Policy set this year, guys? Does anyone remember? We had, I know what last year's was, but we've just changed over and I don't think I've looked. Does anyone happen to know what the Angel Policy set is? So basically it'll have things, you could, if you've got Crafting With You, which is this one, you could stamp, you know, you inspire me, or sending a handmade hug on the back. That would be nice, okay, because that's a really nice, I love that set. We used it last night as well. Thanks, Denise. So it's 117. I knew somebody would know. Called Stamped With Love. Okay, now this is an Angel Policy set. There you go. It talks about the Angel Policy up here. And what that means is a couple of things. First of all, you could do hand stamped especially for and put the person's name in, okay, which I think is really nice. And you can also put a copyright Stampin' Up on the back if you want to. If you're a demonstrator and you want to sell, or even if you're not, if you want to sell stamped cards that you've made with Stampin' Up images, Stampin' Up asks that you please put a copyright Stampin' Up on the back, because it's just fulfilling the legal side of things and making sure that Stampin' Up is getting credit for the images on the card. So if anyone ever wants to sell them, you technically should have copyrighted Stampin' Up. Now, it doesn't have to be the most recent one. It can be any copyrighted stamp. I've made a few over the years. Let me see. This one, for example, this was one we had a few years ago, and I've hung on to it because I really love it. I've got the copyright Stampin' Up here and on a couple of those different ones, From My Heart to Yours, Handmade, Heartfelt Stampin' Up, Handmade Stampin' Up. So those sorts of, look out for these kind of stamps. So as Denise was saying, it's 117 in this particular catalogue, and it's a really nice little set. So if you're ever looking for cards that you can do that with, I think that's a great way to go. Let me get closer. Oh, hello, Sharon. Nice to see you. Did you make a comment there? Made with love. I use it with my knitting business. There you go. Well, see, that stamp set would be perfect for you, right? The last page of the stamps. Well, I don't know. Were you asking me to go back there again, or were you asking me? I'm wondering if you're talking about. Oh, there's some legal information here as well. And yeah, all that kind of stuff. But I just love all these kind of things. I think it just makes everything come together so beautifully. What do we think of our acetate card? Do you like the acetate card? And why is my camera crooked? Because I made it crooked. Sorry about that. Oh, you bought the Angel one last year. There you go. All right, so this is how your card should be looking. If you have made the card with me this month, I would love to see your card. You're welcome to send me a message. You're welcome if you're on our private VIP group. Post a picture of your card in the private VIP group, or if you're in our team, post it in our team group. So I'd love to see what you got up to and to see how your card turned out. Now, the only thing I didn't add, and I will, is the cute little sequins, the pretty peacock sequins. Okay, so let's add a couple of those. I'm going to pop one down here. You don't have to add these. but you can if you want to. Here we go. Just like that. I always think that's too much. I don't know if I needed them, but you know, Jody would say we need bling, so there it is. That's what it's looking like. This one, I didn't use the little sequins. I used the iridescent rhinestones, and I like that too. I think that looks nice as well. Okay. Can we see the window box card? Sure can. All right, so I'm going to show you, whoops, dropping things off the table. I'm going to show you the other cards in the tutorial bundles this month. I really, really like them. Okay, so this is the first one, using acetate to make a floating frame card. And I did this with the new Trucking Along bundle. This is actually my favorite card this month. I love this one. I embossed my cards in my trucks in white, and then used the floating frame technique to put the card together. So it's actually very simple, but there's a bit of time involved in embossing the trucks. But I love how it turned out. Then we did a sunset window card. Okay, so it's actually got an acetate window there at the front, and you'd have to put a panel on the back to write, but this is how the card turned out. If Marilyn's watching, I know she doesn't like black. So Marilyn, if you like this card but you don't like black, you could always use any dark color. I used black because I wanted it to look like a silhouette, but you know, like, you know, silhouette of the trees on a sunset background. But you could use navy, you could use Blackberry Bliss, you could use other. You like the truck card, Sharon? I'm so happy because that's the one I really like as well. And then we have, this is actually a technique using acetate. It's acetate smush background. And there's a tutorial how to do this in the tutorial bundles. And then these are the acetate windows, the boxes. Okay, so I use the scallop gift card boxes from our current annual catalog. I love these little boxes. They are the coolest little things. Okay. And here we go. Did do a couple of alternatives. This is how the card would look if you were doing it in, this is Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight. So just a different color, and you could cut your flower out of maybe navy or a different color. But there's another alternative color. And the little, you can have your ribbon going this way around the box, or you can have it going across just to help keep the box closed. If you don't put a ribbon on it, it still looks really cute, but the box pops open a little bit. So, I mean, here's one without a window. That's how it looks without the window. And it's got this cute, this is part of the kit as well. It's got this cute little, you put your gift cards in here. So the gift cards, the corners of the gift cards slide in behind these pieces here, these little diagonal slits at the corner, and then it actually presents like to give to someone for Christmas or something, or a birthday gift. Such a nice idea. Father's Day, you can put a Bunnings gift card in there, you know, put a truck on the outside. What a cool idea for Father's Day. So this one I did do a ribbon. I used the Night of Navy bordered ribbon, okay, but the instructions in the video tutorial will show you how to put the acetate window in and to make the frame so that your acetate window is neat in your box, okay, and you don't have any edges showing. So that's what's in this month's tutorial. So we've got the one we've just done, but we've got another 4. So there's 5 projects all together in this month's class. We've got the floating frame, show you how to do that. We've got the sunset card, and I show you how to do both the construction of the card and also how to do the coloring, how to do the acetate smush background effect, and how to make these cute little boxes. Super, super cute. Hey, Courtney, nice to see you. Oh, that's okay. You can watch the replay. The replay will be up for always, so you don't need to worry about missing out on anything you haven't. All right, so those are the cards that I'm up to this month. So if you placed an order with me last week and you got the supply pack in the mail this week, you are going to receive all the tutorials for these automatically. And if you're in my team, you're going to receive them automatically as well. So I send them out to all my team members every month. With all the links to the videos and all the measurements in the PDF. There's a PDF that has all the measurements for it, and the measurements are in both metric and in imperial, except for this card because I'm only doing that one in imperial because of the fact that it's 12 by 12 paper. Okay. And then the other cards that you're going to, the other projects that you're making, okay, are all in there as well. So there's step-by-step videos and measurements in a PDF. Then if you didn't order with me last month, but you would like these, you can purchase them. Okay, it's $15 Australian to purchase this tutorial of all these cards, and you'll get the links to all the videos. Okay, the links to all the videos and the PDF as well. And that information will be up on my blog later today or tomorrow morning. Okay, hopefully I'm going to get to it today. I'm going to pop the blog address up on the screen. It's lhiggins.blogspot.com. Right now there's a post. The most recent post was all the supplies that you needed to make this card. But the later today you will see, or tomorrow you'll see the link to actually purchase these tutorials if you wish. But please, if you got the supply pack or if you're in my team, don't purchase the tutorials. You're going to get them for free. Okay, so that's how we want that to work. And I'm going to go back so I can see comments. Do I have something for the dotted perforations on each piece of card? Not sure what you mean. Sorry, Jamie. Maybe you can either ask me, or maybe, does anyone know what Jamie means? I'm so sorry. That's stumped me. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to go back to me so that you can see. Here I am. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that banner. Click on that and hide that. There we go. All right, so does anyone have any other questions before we call this one? It's 2:51. We're coming up on the hour. I always try and keep these videos, these CraftAlong videos, to under an hour. So we're doing well. Oh, did you make it, Jen? I see your Jen on here and Jennifer when you place an order. So I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to say. Do you prefer Jen? That's all right. Oh, Cheryl said, hope that you're feeling better, Courtney. Have you been sick? That's no good. I hope you're feeling okay. Oh, you love your card. That's great. That's good. Did you make it up, Margaret? Good to hear. If you did. Now I'm just going. Oh, the stitch squares from the, okay. Do you mean the dotted perforations around the corner of these, like these? Can you see these are actually the dies, put those in. They put in a stitch edge. When you cut the square, you get that lovely little stitched edge around it. Is that what you mean, Jamie? Oh, hey from Florida, Kathleen. Nice to see you. Okay, the acetate is called Window Sheets, and it's available from Stampin' Up. Okay, so I don't know if you have a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Linda, where are you? Are you in the US or are you in Australia? I can put you in touch with someone in the US if you don't have anyone, or in Australia, of course. I'm happy to help. But the acetate, I will tell you what page you're going to find it on. You're going to find it on, just give me a second. It is here. Okay, page 126. Okay, so are you in Canada? I can pop you in touch with someone in Canada if you like, Linda. That's no problems. Unless you have a demonstrator or someone you know already, let me know and I will give you a name. Yep, so this is the window sheets. Okay, here it is here at the, right there in the corner. All right, on the bottom of page 126, right over in the left-hand corner down the bottom. And it's window sheets. You get 2 clear sheets of acetate. They're 12 by 12 and it's only $8.75 in Australian dollars, which means if you're in the US, means it's even less than that. So no problems. Did you make it up, Deb? Did you end up with something that looked kind of like mine? Sharon said she made it, but she got a spot of glue on the acetate. If you have them, wait till it gets dry. And then you can get it off with one of these little, we don't sell these anymore. We used to sell them. These are called adhesive removers, and they would remove dry adhesive from any surface. So I think you can probably still get them at Spotlight if you want to go and check out your local Spotlight, or I'm sure we could find one for you. But I've kept mine because they're so handy, and they used to cost, I think, like $3.75 or something like that. They were the cheapest thing in the catalogue, and then we don't have them anymore. Ah, there you go. So you can order it from yourself, Linda. That's awesome. You've got one? Yeah, but wait for it to dry, okay? It may not work. It may smudge on your acetate. But yeah, they are brilliant. Cheryl's just saying to us that they are brilliant. We love that. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever part with mine because I find them so useful. Does anyone have any other questions, or have I missed any questions that when I was busy concentrating on my cards, did I miss any questions or any comments that really need my attention? I'm just going back up to see if there's anything else. Outback Stamping. I don't know. Do we know each other? Hello. Nice to. So Janine's saying she doesn't normally like black, but she thought the black card was cool. It is cool. I think it's because of the sunset. It kind of lifts. If it wasn't for that, it would be too dark and miserable, but the sunset really lifts it. Oh, you're very welcome, Ronnie. Thank you so much. Yeah, there you go. Donna said Google it. It's called glue eraser or glue adhesive remover. That's what they used to be called when we had them in our catalogue. Is there any other questions before we say goodbye today? I'm going to sit down. I've already I've recorded all the videos, but I still have yet to edit the last 2, and that's the hold up. I'm just editing those, and I have to edit my videos because quite often that's the advantage. When I do a live video, I have to have everything with me, and if I do not have everything with me, sometimes I have to get up and beg people's forgiveness and go and find whatever it is that I need. But on a pre-recorded video like these ones, I can edit them. So the bits where I'm wandering around the room looking for something, I just edit those out. So nobody has to know that it took me 5 minutes to find, the top plate of my for my cutting plates, or my dimensionals weren't where they were supposed to be. If I was doing a pre-recorded video and I didn't have Wink of Stella, I would go find it and edit that bit out. But I can't do that on a live video. So I'm back here tomorrow night. 7:30 tomorrow night is our normal Sunday night live. Thank you for being with me today. Making birdhouses? That sounds like fun. Oh, yay, Jamie. It was your first craft along. Is there any other first timers here? I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we do this every month. There'll be another one at the end of August. I haven't decided what the August theme is yet, so I can't tell you. But I'm sure it'll be something awesome. Okay, so everyone have a fantastic Saturday evening, and I hope to see some of you at least, if not all, on Sunday night tomorrow at 7:30 Sydney time, and I'll be back again with you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to check the blog later for the tutorials if you're after those. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.